Hi, Rich. How are you? It's been a week since our last R&R update on how we were feeling about customer experience and our West Country warbling. Yeah, lots of great feedback. Hundreds of people. Can you believe it? Hundreds of people.
Hundreds.
Hundreds have either watched us on YouTube. Thank you for the comment that said I had a face for radio. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, and on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, we are internationally recognised at long last, Richard.
Well, it was always going to happen, always going to happen. My mother always said that I'd make a success of something at some point, but it was great to hear the feedback. And we've obviously scrubbed up a little bit more as well. Got my new T-shirt on. You're looking very dapper there in the Vale of, whereabouts are you?
This is my backdrop. This is Chudley in beautiful South Devon. So it's a beautiful day today. So I thought I'd show you all what a beautiful place I live in.
Excellent. So what are we chatting about today then? What are the warblings about today?
Warblings today. Well, I thought it would be quite good to talk about businesses that have managed to capitalise on the opportunity to change their business model really quickly to look after their customers. And what I've noticed, particularly in the last week, 10 days, Rich, is that a lot of smaller businesses seem to be better at this stuff than some of the bigger businesses. So I'll give you an example. I am incredibly frustrated, and Mrs. Huxtable is even more frustrated than I am, that we have got to keep going out of the house to go to the supermarket, putting ourselves at risk, not being able to do what the government are asking us to do and stay in and not only go out when we need to. So we've been trying to get a home delivery, and every supermarket website you go onto, you can't get one because they're already booked up. And you know what? I get it. I understand. It's far more important that the vulnerable people in our society get those slots over sort of fit and healthy people like us, Rich. But you know what? If I was a supermarket boss, I'd be thinking, oh my God, how can I get another 1,000 vans into my fleet so I can start helping the government by keeping more people at home, by giving my customers a great experience, by the fact they don't have to worry and go out, and I can get them delivery slots when they need it. I'm staggered, to be honest with you, that nobody in the multi-billion-pound supermarket industry we have in this country is putting on. I mean, yes, they're putting on more slots, of course, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And what's really interesting on the back of that, consumers are getting a better experience from smaller providers who have been able to, and here's a word for you, Rich, pivot.
Pivot. I used that one last week. I used it. Don't steal it from me.
You
That's
did use
mine
it.
now.
I wonder where I heard it from. It was obviously that great CX mind, Mr. Knight.
That
But
was
yeah,
it.
they pivot
Yep.
into changing their client journey or their customer journey. And they are able to provide a local product and service that is equally good, if not better, than the one they're getting from the supermarket. What are you seeing that, Rich? Are you thinking
Yeah,
that's happening?
absolutely. And I think using these posh words like pivot, they could get a little bit confused down for where I'm from about looking at. So, but yeah, changing, adjusting, adapting to change during a pandemic, or during any challenging time is critical. And yeah, small bakeries offering deliveries, local butchers making trays of different meats available. And actually in Salisbury, you've got a fantastic old butcher's called Pritchett's, which has been around for hundreds of years. Lovely old place. And they've got the old delivery bike outside, and they were using it prior to the issue we find ourselves in now. But now, more than any time, obviously using vans and everything, still using the bike as well to get around and deliver the meat to the door. So just changing slightly, and I think that's the key thing. And I don't know what you think about this one, Ryan. It's not about coming up with something completely and utterly new and different and pushing the boundaries of innovation. It's about making little tweaks that meet your customers' needs.
You know what,
You
Rich? You're
reckon to
so
that?
right. I think you're absolutely right. It's just simple stuff. It's about asking your local community what they need. It's about asking the people that are in your shops or interacting with your social media online, what is it you need? And I've seen some great examples of that. We've got a local Facebook group in Chudley in the town where I live, and one of the first things I began to see when the pandemic really kicked off and the lockdown happened, was how dynamic some of these smaller businesses really were. And one of them that I want to sort of name check today is our local fruit and veg store called Gills. Now, I must have walked past that shop thousands of times in the 16, 17 years I've lived in this beautiful little town. And I think I've been in there 3 times. And I can't really tell you why, but I just never have. And I suppose it really reiterates what state the British High Street has been in, because consumers weren't using their local shops as often as perhaps they or we would have liked. But what's really interesting is when people couldn't go out and therefore their customer journey changed because of the lockdown, and those local businesses were really proactive in reminding those consumers and customers that they were there, they were available, they could provide equally, if not better, a better service than the local supermarkets. I can tell you now, I have seen the Gills van go up and down my street about 20 times a day, delivering fruit boxes, great quality. We've had one, it's amazing local produce. The food miles are less. And I've actually heard people that again, online and through conversations that I've had, say, do you know what, I'm going to stick with this because it's great quality, it's here when I need it. As I said, the food miles are a lot less, and I'm supporting a local business. So I think this whole move back to localism through the fact that we don't have a choice at the moment, and more importantly, those businesses are absolutely up for it, and they've set themselves up for it really quickly through their social media channels, through their local delivery systems, through their suppliers. It's having an amazing impact. And I actually think that this may be one of the key things that could, in the long term, potentially revitalize some of the high streets in our small towns and villages. You know, it's a great example. You mentioned butchers. You know, we've had a baker turn up in the town. We haven't had a bakery in the town for the last 5 years. In the last 2 weeks, we had a baker turn up. He's been there every Thursday and Saturday, and the quality of the product and the produce is amazing, and people are recommending it. It's an easy journey. It's a walk into town. It's being delivered. They can order pies from this particular baker that get delivered to the house. So it's an amazing resurgence of dynamic small businesses who understand their customers and are delivering what their customers want. I mean, are you seeing that in Salisbury, Rich?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the key thing. It's about what the customers want, and it definitely the way that they're all. We're thinking. We're customers. I'm thinking in a different way. I want it to be easy, but actually, although we're thinking in a slightly different way, it all harps back to the fact that when you're looking at customer experience, ease. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for customers. Now, these barriers are being put in place, and it means that a lot of organisations are having to start to think in a slightly different way to deliver that ease for customers. And interestingly enough, beyond the sort of the local piece, actually from a bigger business point of view, professional services and training providers as well actually are starting to pivot the way they provide the training. So the archetypal, let's do a training course for a day, standing in front of you, you have your trainer, etc. Now we all know, and we're using it now, Zoom, Google Hangouts, all these other providers. It is a pivot in terms of how we provide something. But this also demonstrates that this pivoting approach when it comes to customers is something that is pivoting from a strength you already have. So providing delivery of bakery goods, you are good at delivering, providing bread, cakes, whatever it is already, but you've just pivoted slightly in terms of satisfying your customer need. So you're not doing something that is completely alien to you, which is fantastic. So training providers, let's go online. Let's provide these sort of things. Insight 6, we're looking at doing that ourselves. Our customer experience training, it's going online. It's going to be there and available in another format. People are at home, furloughed, etc. They're our customers as well, but they can't get out and they can't come and experience it with fantastic trainers like your good self and myself, Ryan. And obviously, you know, the testimonials that we have in terms of that is obviously fantastic, but it's providing it in a slightly different way and one that meets the needs of the customer. So that's the critical thing.
It's very kind of you, Richard. Nobody said I'm a good trainer for years.
So pay me later. You can pay me later.
I'll take that. It's a really good point, though. And I think it isn't just about that, it's not just about the local high street. It is about how smaller local professional service businesses, training providers are changing the way they think about how they provide those services. And one of my clients, I had a really long chat with them last week. And then they're a law firm. They're a great law firm. They're a regional law firm. And they really care about their clients and their customers, and often I think sometimes legal providers get a bit of a rough ride about how they look after people. But this particular firm is a real standout for me, and we're having a long discussion about actually, how do we help our customers? How do we help our clients when actually at the moment, they're going to feel bewildered. They're going to feel frightened. We've got business owners that don't know how to access products and services that the government are now providing. We've got employees who are concerned about furloughing laws and what are their rights and so on and so forth. So do you know what that firm has done? Instead of the inquiries coming into the firm and them thinking, oh, that's a piece of work, or I'll take that piece of work, or yeah, that's great, we'll deal with that. They're actually ringing their clients to see how they are, and they're doing it from a space of, from a really, really genuine space of, how are you? How are you?
Yeah,
things are really tough at the moment. We're just ringing up to see how you are. And some of these clients will have had years and years and years of a relationship with that particular firm. And if my lawyer picked up the phone and rang me and said, you know what, Ryan, I'm just ringing up to see how you are, firstly, I think I'd pick myself up off the floor, because actually nobody's actually done that yet. But more importantly, I'd be thinking, great, somebody's interested in me. And you know what? I may have a legal need that I haven't even thought about, or even think that I might need in my business or in my personal life. So, fair play and well done to them. They've done a great job in doing that. So well done, Stephen Scan. I'm really proud of you. You've done a great job in really thinking about and reaching out to your clients and getting ahead of the game with that. So it should be really well commended, because there's loads and loads of professional service firms at the moment that all they're worried about is themselves and not their clients, I'm sad to say.
Absolutely. And I had a similar one in terms of insurance firm as well, saying exactly the same thing. Let's pivot it. Let's, rather than be the reactionary firm who have inbound calls, let's turn it round and let's find out how our current clients are doing, what they might need, what else they're thinking, and going forward. So it's taking that, and I mentioned it last week actually, around emotional connection, about empathy, about understanding that we're all in this thing together. And that is the beauty of being able to pivot, adjust, and amend what you do at this point in time, particularly through any challenging time. Even more so now, because we're all in it together, is that we have a common view of the world. Things are not the same. So what can we do? We would expect somebody to come and ask us, how are you? And that sort of pivot makes a massive difference, but it's a really small thing. It isn't changing all your processes. It isn't coming up with something completely new and exciting. What it is doing, it is fitting with our clients' needs. And as a customer, we need, and this comes from a highly thought of CX champion, if you like, Jonathan Winchester, who talks about, please make me feel special. And every single customer has got that written invisibly across their forehead. And we all want that. We all want to be excuse me, I'll put my teeth back in. We all want to be made to feel special as the customer. And how much more so than somebody asking about us? Yeah, let's flip it round. Let's pivot that.
It's so true. It is so true, because this is, you said it earlier, right? This is simple stuff. This is simple stuff. If your business model has to change, there are 3 tips that I want to give you, and these are they. Think about how your people are going to get it. How accessible is your brand? Okay, how are they going to get your brand in this really difficult time? The second tip I want to give you is how are they going to get into your brand? How are they going to access it? How accessible is it? Okay, so how do they? What are the contact numbers they need to contact your law firm when you ring up? Or what is the ease of process to be able to deal with your brand at this time? And then once they've found your brands, they've got your product, how do they get out quickly? So how is that process really simple? So get in, get it, get out, okay? And most importantly, at the end of that, in your mind as a business owner or as a leader in a business, what does that feel like? Is the customer really approving of what you've done for them? It's really simple stuff. Get in, get it, get out, okay? And those three core things, if you just think about that when you're thinking about your client journey in these really difficult times, you won't go far wrong. Is it accessible? Is your product are you accessible? Is your product attainable? And are they going to approve of it? Really simple stuff. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I totally agree, Ryan. Yeah, those three are fantastic, and they will be. You'll be able to download that from our website, insight6.com. The link should be underneath somewhere, either there or there. It probably won't be over there, but let's.
You're not technical, Richie.
Hey.
You're not technically.
I'm not technical, but please do, because we'll have this put together for you on a little download, nice and simple. Nothing to, as Ryan said, keeping it simple. Let's make sure it's there for you. So please download it. We are pretty much up on time. We've been doing some warbling and from the West Country, and hopefully you've enjoyed what we've been talking about today. We will be back next week with another episode of Customer Experience R&R.
We're going to talk about pivoting again.
Hey, pivoting.
Pivoting.
Well, we can use the word.
But Rich, I haven't even talked about cider yet either. And that's important.
You can go and have one. But whilst you're having a cider, we'll let these good people get on. Have a great rest of their day, evening, morning, whenever they're listening or viewing. And thank you very much. From me, Richard Knight, goodbye.
And from me, Ryan Huxtable, goodbye.